There's only one place, one joint, where your whole upper limb, your whole arm unit attaches to the main part of your body. And the main part of your body could be your ribs, your spine, your head. One of those, your arm's attached to by a joint. Do you know where that is? Point on yourself. Where is that? No. No. Any other guesses? No. No. All right. Well, here, I'll show you. Take a look at this guy here. See where his arm's attached? You see where that is? Right there, exactly. Right there at the clavicle with the sternum. Right at one point, just one point. Right, these two little bumps are the only place my arm's attached to my body by a joint. They're really close together. This is the only place my right arm's attached. This is the only place my left arm's attached. What that means is when you use your arm, your shoulder blade is free to move. It's attached by muscles, but it's not attached by a joint to your body. It's attached to your collarbone and attached to your arm bone, but not here to your body by a bone. And most people move as if it's attached by a bone to their body. And they keep their shoulder blades a little bit tight on their back. And that pulls on their neck. That can even give them back trouble further down. And it gives them a lot of tension. It tends to pull their shoulders a little up and in like this. And when it does that, people feel, when those muscles tighten, they feel a sense of anxiety besides a sense of tension in their shoulders. You know when you get that little bump back here, that little lump, when you feel a little lump in there and that's tight and you can feel it with your hand? Mm-hmm. Well, I'll show you how to undo that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you both by a feeling sense and also by telling you how to think of it yourself, how to let some of that tightness go. So I'm going to put my hand here right over where that little muscle starts on the edge of the shoulder blade. And I'm going to just move your arm and get your shoulder blade to follow that movement of your arm. So when your arm moves front, that shoulder blade slides out with it. When it moves back, that shoulder blade can slide out and down. Very good. When it moves out to the side, that shoulder blade releases and slides out to the side because it's only attached in the front at that one joint. It's only attached to your body, in your main part of your trunk in the front at that one joint. And when you move your arm, this whole back widens out along with your shoulder blade to your arm, and then you get the power of your back and your arms. So instead of getting tension here when you use your arms, you end up getting a nice ease and a widening and a power in your back with your arms. And what happens with that then, when you use your arm, is almost as if your shoulder blade were floating around here instead of up here. It slides around, your back slides around with your arm, the surface muscles slide around, and your arm really comes from the very bottom of your trunk. The power of your arm comes from the bottom of your trunk, widens up and out your back, out through your arm and out through the ends of your fingers. And when you move your arm, the place most often you move is the ends of your fingers towards something when you move your hand and move your arm. So here, if the ends of your fingers lead that movement, very good, then all the other joints and muscles of your arm follow that movement. They're designed to coordinate with the ends of your fingers. Whereas if you were to start by lifting your shoulder, then these muscles are already busy, and when you have a fine articulation of the ends of your fingers, those muscles being already busy won't go with it. You'll start getting strain and pull and tension in your shoulder. Or wherever it is that you're starting with, if you start with your forearm and bring that up somewhere, and you hold that somewhere to type on the computer, then when you move your fingers, this isn't free to go along with it. So what happens when your fingers move is that all the joints, all the muscles, all the way down to the end of your trunk are designed to follow the ends of your fingertips. And that shoulder blade and collarbone slide with it, as well as the muscles of your back, and even the abdominal muscles, the obliques, slide with your arm. Place your finger right along your clavicle here. So you put your finger along the line of your clavicle, and letting that arm hang, the one that your finger's along the line of the clavicle of, letting that arm hang, just then feel as you move that arm backwards, does your clavicle move with it? As you move that arm forward, does your clavicle move with it? How about if you move that arm up? can you feel how your clavicle tilts with it and down? So when your arm moves, you can really get a sense of how that's just attached right here at your collarbone, and your shoulder blade slides with your clavicle, and even that big wing muscle of your back slides with it, and so do the abdominal muscles of the front and the pectoral muscle. They slide almost like having an overcoat on, or a jacket that's open in the front and open in the back would slide with it. So it's not necessarily the bones of your body moving, but actually those muscles slide nicely with this whole movement of your arm that really is only attached here. We're actually going to have the end of your fingers, which is what you're really bringing to the keys. We're going to have the end of your fingers lead that movement, and your shoulder blades, your clavicle, the muscles of your back and your front are going to just ease and follow the ends of your fingers. That way you have very strong fingers, but very easy, soft fingers. And you get the lengthening and widening of your whole trunk, of your whole back particularly, as power in your arms. And your fingers stay very flexible with all these joints and muscles, just able to follow any fine movement of your fingers. And when you're doing something like driving, so if you're driving along, of course you're not bringing your fingertips to the steering wheel, you're not putting your fingertips on the steering wheel, but in fact you are leading with the ends of your fingers, because you have to bring your fingers over the wheel, and they're on the end of your hand, so the ends of your fingers actually lead the movement. Even though you're holding the wheel here, they lead the movement of your arms the same way when you're at the steering wheel, or if you're picking up a cup, the ends of your fingers are the things that lead that movement of your arm and your whole body over, and then they come back with the cup to you, and all the other joints and muscles follow that movement. If you're scratching your head, really you're not bringing your forearm up to your head. You're bringing really the ends of your fingers, and we want all the other joints and muscles to be free and follow that. All your arm moves, your whole arm, the joints of your arm, the muscles, the tendons, all move along with what you're doing with your hands to have free movement. In fact, your whole body actually moves and balances a little bit with that, but we're going to talk about that in another segment. But for your arms, really they come all the way from the bottom of your trunk, and they follow the lead of the ends of your fingers. So there's nice free movement all along. If there isn't free movement, what happens is you get a pull, almost like a pull in a fabric. If I take this fabric here on the bottom of my shirt, and I hold the fabric here, and I move this, if this were a person moving their body, they tend to feel this movement pretty easily because they're holding something stiff and they're moving against it. And that's when we feel movement. So we think, yeah, it's pretty good, I'm moving this a lot. But a lot of times we shouldn't really feel movement as pull, as stretch. It's better to feel movement as ease. So if I move this fabric to feel ease, then the whole thing moves. I'm not holding an area, I'm letting that move a little bit with it, even though still, this is still the main area of movement. Because again, if I hold this area, which is something unfortunately that we do with our bodies, we hold a part to sense that we're moving another part, you can tell that the fabric is actually going to wear here. If I kept doing this repeatedly, you can imagine this fabric's going to fray and wear. And this is what happens with our body over time. So using your arms, using your body in an easy way prevents that.